Polar alignment is a critical step early in the process of astrophotography. It can mean the difference between an enjoyable night out imaging and star trails and unusable data that you may not even be able to process the next day. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to quickly find Polaris and use that star to align your tracking mount for a great night out imaging. If you enjoy this video, please like it and subscribe to this channel. But most importantly, let me know about your questions and experiences with polar alignment in the comments section below. For today's demonstration, I'm going to be using the SkyGuider Pro tracking mount, but the basic steps and procedures for this mount will be fairly universal for most other mounts out there. Let's begin by looking up to the north part of the sky and finding our constant stable friend, Polaris. To find Polaris, let's get started by facing north and looking for Ursa Major, the Big Dipper. We'll use this prominent constellation to guide us to Polaris. On the right side of the Big Dipper's bowl, you'll find the stars Merak and Dubhe. Draw a straight line through these two stars and continue for about 5 times their distance until you find Polaris, the brightest star at the tail end of Ursa Minor, the Little Dipper. Keep in mind that the night sky is constantly shifting throughout the year, but regardless of where the Big Dipper appears in your sky after watching this video, using these steps will get you to Polaris. We use Polaris to align our tracking mounts because it is near a fixed point of the sky that everything else rotates around. So properly aligning to Polaris early in the evening will allow you to match the movement of the sky to capture long exposure images of deep sky objects throughout the night. Once you've found Polaris, you're going to want to make sure that the base of your tracking mount is set to your proper latitude. For where I live, that's about 37 degrees. Once that's done, point your mount towards Polaris. Before you align the polar scope, it's always a good idea to check and make sure your tracking mount is level by making slight adjustments to the tripod. The polar scope I'm using here has a built-in light, so I'll turn that on and adjust the brightness of the reticle. As you're looking up into the polar scope, make sure the reticle is aligned with 12 o'clock facing straight up. Hopefully you will see a bright star in the field of view. If not, you'll need to slightly adjust the positioning of your tripod until Polaris shows up. To properly align your polar scope, you need to know the exact location of where Polaris should be on your reticle for your location and time of night. To find this, I'm going to pull up an app called Polar Scope Align Pro. As you can see here, it is telling me that Polaris should be located just to the right of 11 o'clock. To move Polaris to that point, I'm going to make fine-tune adjustments to the tracking mount in small increments until everything is perfectly aligned. The reason we don't place Polaris directly in the center of the reticle is because it's actually slightly off of the center of the north celestial pole. Once you're done with polar alignment, it's always a good idea to do some test shots at the exposure length you're considering for that evening's imaging session. This will help to make sure that the stars in your image are not showing trails, which can be a sign of improper alignment. I hope you found this video on polar alignment helpful. If you've got any tips and tricks for finding Polaris or polar aligning your tracking mount, please be sure to let me know in the comments section below. Thank you all so much for your continued support, and clear skies from Late Night Astronomy.